Hi and welcome back to my channel for a new art journaling video. Today I'm playing again in my 6x6 watercolor journal, and I haven't primed the page with gesso or so. I just used that plain watercolor paper, and I'm stamping the grungy swirls from Rubber Dance with Versamark ink, and I'm going to emboss them with white powder. Today I will use my Distress Oxide ink pads together with one of the mini jelly plates to create the background. I always have to remind myself to use all the products I have, especially my ink pads, because I don't use them very often. And I also have the oxide sprays laying here, not all of them. Glad I just picked some of them when they came out. And I have no idea what to do with them, and whenever I use them I feel it looks ugly and muddy and just not nice, and I don't have the feeling that there's something I can't do with the ink pads. So I think having the oxide ink pads is enough. Here I'm squishing the ink pad onto that jelly plate and spritz it with water, and then I dip it onto my page. When I switch from warm colors to cool ones, I always heat set the background so that the color is dry, and then I go on top with the other to avoid getting muddy colors. You already can see the embossed swirls on the background. They act as a resist against the oxides and create a nice texture. If you don't have the oxide ink pads, you could use the normal Distress inks also to create the background. This will look also very nice. And even if you have no ink pads, you can probably use your watercolors with the jelly plate, or the Neocolor crayons, or the gelatos. I think there are many products out there that will work in the same way. And in case you don't have that mini jelly plate, you can just use a piece of acetate and do almost the same with it. When I'm happy with my background, I go in with some stamping to create some extra texture, and therefore I'm using also the oxide ink pads. One thing I always love to do on my backgrounds is adding white splatters. Here I'm using some liquid white watercolor and just add a little bit more border, and then I sprinkle it all over my page. With the Distress Oxides, you don't get that high contrast because the inks bleed into that white watercolor a little bit. Here I'm creating my main image. I'm stamping the big one from the Rubber Dance Butterfly Trios with Versamark ink, and then I have embossed it with white powder. And to color it in, I used Distress inks, and I wanted to use the same colors as I have used from the oxides on the background, but I don't have those in a Distress ink version, so I just picked some similar ones. I'm using a piece of a baking mat to squish the ink pads onto because it works much better than using the glass plate. When you use the glass plate in this way, the ink will all go together to one big blob, and when you use that baking mat or your craft mat, you will get these nice sprinkles when you spritz the water into the ink. I'm moving the color around with my brush until I'm happy with the result. Unfortunately, I missed pressing the record button for that black part I did with the black soot of Distress Oxides, and I just did it in the same way as I did it with the other colors. I used the jelly plate, and what I now add are some sprinkles with that black color. The reason why I added that black color was that the page felt really empty without it, and I felt I needed some contrast. I now add a little bit more stamping to give the butterfly some more texture to sit on. It makes the page look even more interesting, I think. To finish up the page, I'm adhering my butterfly to the center of the page, and I also give him a title that says Possibility. This is stamped with the Rubber Dance Mixer Sentiment stamp set, and it's embossed with white on black cardstock. And this was my page for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you see us next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!